Hi, it's Chris. In this video, we're going to be talking about post-holiday appliance maintenance. So after all the festivities, your appliances have probably been working overtime, between the large gatherings, not to mention the large meals you've prepared. Keep in mind if your machine needs to be repaired, it's usually simple enough to do it yourself. Visit partselect.com, enter your model number, and quickly find and order the part you need. So the first appliance we want to talk about is the trusted refrigerator. Now, one of the things I look to do is I want to check and make sure that my temperature settings for my fridge and my freezer are where they should be. Most of the controls now are in the same area as like water dispensers, so you got many hands, many fingers that are touching those control panels and may have changed those temperatures. So make sure they're set where you want them to be set. The other thing to think about is you probably use more ice and water than you have throughout the rest of the year. So it may be the ideal time to think about replacing that water filter. So while you're in the refrigerator, it's an ideal time to look to see if there's anything been spilled or leaked in the refrigerator. All those things will cause an odor, so now's the ideal time to wipe the interior of the refrigerator down and eliminate any possibility for any bacteria growth or odors. As well, you want to make sure that everything's working good on your fridge by opening up the doors and checking your door gaskets around either the one or two doors, whichever it has, or if it has a drawer, you want to make sure that that gasket as well is sealing tight and doesn't have any crack or splits. If they do, you're winding up losing cold air and warm air entering your refrigerator, which is going to cause excess frost buildup. So take the time and just check those gaskets to make sure that they're working and sealing well. As well, if you can, it's a great time to clean the coils on your condenser for your refrigerator. Because most of these refrigerators use a fan blowing cold air over those condenser coils, they're going to pull in any amount of dust and dirt and they'll start to clog up those coils. And once they do get clogged up, you're going to reduce the efficiency of the refrigerator, it's going to work harder, and it's going to cost you money. And last but not least, while you got the doors open, take a look at the door bins where you put a lot of your heavy product, your jars, your bottles. Over time, normal wear and tear, and the amount of weight being on them, those plastic bins can get small hairline cracks. And if they do, they could potentially fall when you open up the door, and then you risk either injury to yourself, someone else, or damage to your floor. So the next appliance we want to talk about is the dishwasher. And in fact, during holiday seasons, the dishwasher is the most favorite and preferred appliance of any of them in your kitchen. It winds up getting a chance to be used more often than it does throughout the rest of the year. With all the dishes you have from preparation to serving, all go through the dishwasher, so it gets a really hard workout. First thing you want to do is inspect your racks. Look to make sure that there's nothing that's cut the coating on those racks, or you're not seeing any broken tines or anything like that. As well, you want to take a look at your spray arms. Those spray arms turn by having the water pressure go up through them, and you know in your spray arms there's those little holes where the water is pushed out. Well, sometimes food particles wind up getting inside those spray arms and starts to affect the efficiency of how well they turn and how well they clean. So take a few minutes, and if you see anything lodged in those holes, you can just poke it out with a little toothpick or a small screwdriver or whatever. The other thing you may want to take a look at is look at the bottom down in the sump. Most modern dishwashers today have some sort of a filtering system. So you'll want to take a look and make sure that that filter is clean. So if you don't clean those out, you'll wind up getting that starting to get some smells and bacteria growth from them. So you'll want to remove that and clean them out and give them a good flushing. After that, you probably want to take a look at your door seal. Make sure that the door seal is soft, flexible, and doesn't have any tears or cracks. That ensures you're not going to get any water leaking out of the machine, as well as it'll help hold the heat in so that you get a proper temperature for easy removal of food particles from the dishwasher itself. And last but not least, once you have it all cleaned and you're happy with it, you can always run something through your dishwasher as part of a clean cycle. And that can be some commercial products that you can buy that you can put in and flush through your dishwasher, or you can do it simply by using some vinegar and water, and that will help give it that clean, fresh, just like new experience. Another appliance that's worth taking some time to do a little maintenance on, if you have one, is your food waste disposer. So there's 6 basic steps for maintaining and cleaning your disposer. And the first one, and the most important, is to unplug your disposer or turn off the circuit breaker for your protection. The second step is more about cleaning bacteria and grime away from the splash guard that's right there in your sink where your stopper goes. And basically just take a little dishwasher detergent and give it a good wash and a scrub. The third step is to remove any visible debris that you see in your disposer. So you're going to remove your splash guard and just have a pair of tongs or needle nose pliers and just look down inside. And if you're seeing anything like toothpicks or, maybe there's some peel or by mistake somebody put eggshells down inside that need to be removed, just use your pliers and pull them out of there. Our fourth step is taking some baking soda and vinegar. Just take the measured amounts, pour them in, let them sit in your disposer, put a little bit of water into it, and that's going to bubble and fizz. And that's going to clean that cutting plate and the sides up really, really nice. So the fifth step is about cleaning the cutting blades and the area around it. Put in 2 cups of ice and add 1 cup of salt. Pour that in. Now we're going to run the water and run the disposer. So it's going to grind all that ice up and do that rest of that cleaning. Between the ice and the salt, it's going to clean that cutting plate and those cutting blades and make it just like a new machine again. So our last step is just about making it smell good. So you can take some lemon peel or some orange peel, some sort of citrus peel, put that into your disposer, run it through, flush it with a little bit of water, and it's going to leave it with a nice, clean, fresh smell. And put your splash guard back in, and then you're good to go. Our next appliance that could do with a little TLC and maintenance is our range. Your range wound up getting used a huge amount during big holiday seasons. So there's a few basic things you want to do. You're probably due for a self-clean, so you can set up your machine to do a full self-clean cycle. It takes between 2 and 3 hours. Of course, you're going to want to remove your racks before you do that so you don't have them turning color. The other thing you want to do is take a look at your console. Check where your knobs are, make sure they're all still nice and snug on top where they go onto the knobs. And in fact, you may even want to turn all your burners on so that you can ensure that they're all working the way they're supposed to be, so they're ready for you for any cooking you want to do afterwards. So on your elements that are maybe a single or double or triple element, check each one to make sure that they're all working and cycling properly. So then once your cooktop cools off, it's a great time to give it a cleaning and protection by using a good saran top, glass top cleaner. So it's just like waxing the car. You're just going to put it on, wipe it off. If you've had any serious spills, if there's food stuck on the glass top, you can use the scraper blades, which work fantastic for bringing that cooktop back to just like new. So you also want to open your door and you want to check your oven door gasket. Just check it to make sure that it's in place properly and it doesn't have any tears or wear marks. And if you're seeing that, that means your gasket's not tight and you're starting to lose temperature inside the oven, which of course is going to affect its performance and your baking. So let's talk about the microwave. There's a few things you can do to maintain it and ensure that it's going to work properly for you. So one of the things you want to do is take a look at your control panel. During the festive season, and you get a lot of people at it, and there's a lot going on, you can wind up with a lot of different things on people's fingers that are touching buttons. You can actually wind up with a coating from some of the residue from that, and it'll start to affect the ability for the touchpad to work properly. So just give that a nice wipe with a soft cloth and a little bit of soap on it and clean that right off. Get any grease off that. As well, you want to take a look at your door and make sure that it's nice and clean. If you get any kind of buildup of food particles around the inside of that door or around the frame, you could potentially be creating a possibility of some radiation leak from your microwave. So you want to make sure that's all nice and clean. While you got it open and you want to clean out your interior of the microwave so that you're not having any chance for odors or bacteria growing there. So it's an ideal time as well to take out the glass tray and give it a good cleaning because there's probably been spillovers and different stuff that's gotten on it that needs to be cleaned off. While you have that out, take the ring that supports the glass tray. Most of these rings all have wheels on them, and just check to make sure that they turn smoothly and they're not cracked or missing. And if they're not turning smoothly, you're going to want to replace it because this is what allows the turntable to turn smoothly. And if it can't turn, if it starts to bind up because of this, you could actually wind up damaging the little gearbox that turns the glass tray. So while your kitchen appliances get a lot of attention as far as doing maintenance after the holiday season, we can't forget about the laundry equipment. It's a good time to give them a little attention as well. So let's start with the washer. The first thing we want to do with your washer, especially with front loads, is Inspect this door seal. Make sure it's in good condition, that there's no tears or splits, it's not twisted or out of place. If it is, there's a very good chance you're going to wind up getting a potential leak that's going to cause damage to your floor. The other thing you want to take a look at is making sure that your dispenser is clean. These dispensers will sometimes get a buildup of soap, detergent, and fabric softener, and if that happens, then you wind up with your liquids not getting down into the tub for doing proper cleaning. So it doesn't take long to remove this, and you can run these drawers underneath your hot water and get them cleaned out. It's really easy to do. As well, you're going to want to take a look if yours has the option of having a pump that has a clean out filter right down here, and remove any bit of lint or dirt or anything that's been caught up in it. Get that cleaned out, and that'll help improve the efficiency of the pump cycle. As well, you're going to want to take a look at just the inspection on the hoses that put the water into the machine from your house supply. These are stainless steel braided, which are really good and highly recommended. But if you have the rubber hoses, you'll want to inspect those for cracks, splits, or bubbles, especially on your hot water. So if you're seeing that, you'll want to replace them. Otherwise, you're going to wind up with a fairly severe flood, and you really don't need that kind of aggravation. As well, take a look at the drain hose. Check and make sure that it's secured where it goes into your standpipe. This one, we just have a tie strap on to hold it so it can't jump out when the pump kicks in. If you don't have anything on it, you should, because there is potential for those drain hoses to pop out, and again, you'll wind up with a flood. So the last thing you want to give some thought to is just freshening up the machine altogether. And there are some commercial products that you can use to run through your machine and do a clean cycle, or you can actually just make a home remedy solution of just some vinegar and some water and just put it inside the machine and let it run. So last but not least, we'll talk about the dryer. So some basic maintenance on your dryer is going to be opening up the door, checking the door seal where the door meets the machine. Check and inspect that to see if there's any kind of buildup of lint. As well, look to make sure that it's not torn or coming out of place. That door seal keeps the heat within your dryer and keeps it working efficiently. If it's leaking air out through there, then it's going to run longer than need be and take longer to dry your clothes, costing you money. The other thing you want to do while you have the door open is check your lint filter. Take that filter out, and you probably do on a regular basis, but it's a good idea to do it again now where we're talking about maintaining the machine. If they've got any tears or cracks or the frame's broken, you're going to want to replace that lint filter. Ignoring that just allows lint to pass through the filter and get down into the machine and cause a buildup where you can't get at it. And again, that affects the efficiency and could eventually provide you with a possible fire hazard. The last thing you want to take a look at is the venting for your dryer, where the air comes out of the back or side of your dryer and vents to the outside of your home. That hose should be as nice and clean from lint as possible. Especially inspect where it comes out of your home, where there's usually some type of flap or device to keep the air from blowing back inside. That's a key point where you'll find lint building up and restricting airflow. And restricted airflow will increase the length of time for your clothes to dry, and even in some cases be so bad that after the machine shuts off, you take your clothes out and they're still damp. And if you're experiencing that, check your outdoor venting. So there you go. Following these simple tips will ensure that your appliances are working properly long after the holiday season.